Well, hello, my friends. I want to share something with you today about there were some women that are in some need of some guidance on eating healthy. And let me just say, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nurse. I don't have a degree in nutrition. What I have is life experience with disease, life experience getting over disease by eating healthy, life experience about falling off the wagon and getting unhealthy again. And I got rid of type 2 diabetes a few years ago by changing my diet, losing weight. And I gained some of that weight back, and I'm working on getting it off now. But anyway, I decided I'm going to start a series. And I've made a commitment to meet with some women, some very special women who are in need of guidance. And tomorrow morning is my first meeting with them, and I'm going to meet with them twice a month. And the first session of the month is going to talk about how to eat healthy and just information I picked up along the way. I studied a lot of functional nutrition and functional medicine throughout my journey this past 7 years or so, 6 years, 7 years. But I also studied a lot about nutrition back in the 90s. And there was a lot of information that wasn't available in the 90s. It was not readily apparent to even look for it, or it wasn't on any radar. And there's been a lot of changes. There's been a lot of scientific studies that the modern medical community won't recognize as valid because it doesn't involve pharmaceuticals or surgeries. So anyway, I thought I would start video recording some of the information that I am going to share with this group, either when I share it, after I share it, or before it. Today it happens to be before, and this will be my first meeting. And what I decided to do was I made this little brochure, kind of like an introduction brochure, and this is what it looks like on the front. I'll be glad to send it to anybody that might want a copy of it. It's in the form of a Word document or a PDF. And so basically it has a picture, it has several pictures of foods that promote life, that our cells live off of these kinds of foods. Whether you're a vegetarian, whether or not you're a meat eater, but I have both. I have everything in here. And anyway, and there's this comment I decided to put right here on the front of this little brochure. And this is what it says. It says that God made our bodies to heal itself with the nourishment that's provided within his creation. Plants clean meat from animals, vegetables, and water, not chemicals and pesticides. Our bodies don't know what to do with the chemicals and the pesticides. They're foreign objects because that's not the way God made our bodies. So as a result of that, it causes sickness and disease. When our bodies ingest over time, little by little, we're taking in these chemicals and pesticides in every aspect of our drinking water, our meat. And with the meat, we're getting antibiotics. Some of the vegetables are coming that way too. We're getting antibiotics, and there's lots of antibiotic resistance going around. So, by the way, anything I share with you, talk to your doctor first. Like I said, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a nurse. But so anything I share with you on this, please seek out your doctor's approval before changing your diet and things like that. Although I will say this, part of your diet you can change without asking for medical help is packaged foods and processed foods that have gone through a lot of things, which I'll talk about in just a second. But anyway, on the back of this brochure, I'm showing the food pyramid that we've been so familiar with for many, many years, for 50 years. I'm 67, so I've been really familiar with it for maybe a lot more years than you have, if you're much younger than me. And the group I'm going to be speaking to tomorrow is much younger than me. But they got the food pyramid upside down. And there's a lot of reasons for that. There's a lot of history behind different, one specific doctor with one item, like the eggs became like, don't eat eggs because the cholesterol is so bad for you. But you know, our brains are mostly made of cholesterol. You'll find out if you start learning. And I suggest you start learning. There's a lot of good doctors out there. And there's a lot of good doctors right on YouTube. Dr. Eric Berg, Dr. Joshua Axe, Dr. John Bergman, Dr. Mark Hyman. I mean, there are so many good functional medicine doctors out there that can help you get through this. And we have so many more autoimmune diseases these days, and obesity, cravings for sugar. And that's my biggest issue has been cravings for sugars, cakes, cookies, ice cream. That has been my problem. January 30th, I did what's called the Whole30 plan, which is a really good plan. You do it for 30 days. You could do it longer if you'd like, but 30 days, when I first started my 85-pound weight loss, I said, you know, I could do anything for 30 days, which is that's how I got started. And the Whole30 plan is that you basically, you remove all grains from your diet, all sugar, you remove all legumes, all beans, you remove dairy. So basically you eat meat and vegetables as much as you possibly want. You can get so full, you can have as much as you want. You can eat sweet potatoes. Some sources say you can eat white potatoes, but I'm not sure. I'm conflicted on that because I thought I've read different things about that. But, you know, when I was traveling, which I do travel quite a bit, I would stop and get a steak and a baked potato. And, yeah, I cheated on the butter on that because I had ghee with me, but it was in the car. I didn't want to carry the ghee into the restaurant. But you can eat ghee, which is really good. It's clarified butter, but you can eat ghee. Anyway, that was a good way for me. I don't have the sugar cravings and the carb cravings anymore. Yeah, would I still like to have a cupcake or a donut? Oh yeah. But I don't really feel like I have to have it and go out and get it. And for me, I used to go out and get not just one donut, but I'd have to eat like 2 to 3 or 4, sometimes more, especially if I was traveling. I would justify it somehow, getting a box or half a box, and then just you have some and you just want more. Anyway, so on the back, like I said, on the back, it has a food pyramid, and then showing how really if you turn the food pyramid upside down, that is the much better, healthier way to go. And so, and what that means is, you know, on the food pyramid, it's got, you know, you're eating so many grains and so many boxed cereals and things like this, pastas and things like this. No. In fact, you know, you should probably stay away from as much as you can. Gluten is one of the most highly inflammatory foods. I have a hard time. I was off gluten for the whole month, more than a month that I was on Whole30. That was a little less than a month because I got sick. And then I had to start eating rice and bananas because I had a stomach lining illness. And so I had to start eating rice and bananas and applesauce. So the rice really messed me up as far as the Whole30 went. But I did reset to where I didn't crave the carbs so much. Anyway, you know, we need a lot of fruits and vegetables, more vegetables than fruit. But, you know, there are a bunch of fruits that have these they call them flavonoids, and those are like super beneficial. And the ones that have they call it low glycemic index, those are like the berries, strawberries, blueberries. But those are so pesticide infested that you really need to buy them organic. And so sometimes I would buy them frozen organic and put them in a smoothie or something like that. I'm actually doing an anti-inflammatory drink, or several of them these days, to try to heal H. pylori bacteria, possible stomach ulcer, and which that's usually caused. H. pylori is in your body no matter all the time, but under stress or just not eating right or just irritating the lining of your stomach, then that could become a problem, which it is now a problem for me. And so I'm healing from that. So there's a lot of anti-inflammatory drinks like aloe, but you need good quality you need good quality sources, and I'll talk about that in another video, because there's some of those products that I do actually have been selling for the past 4 years that come from whole organic sources, and it's really amazing. And so, of course, nutrients and the aloe, and the flavonoids, just every aspect of every nutrient that your body would need. I have an answer for you on that if you're interested. Certainly let me know if you are. But in any event, the berries are going to be the lowest glycemic index. What that means is it doesn't make your insulin raise so much. And that's the problem with type 2 diabetes, which is growing and growing and growing. Actually, it's looking like a large percentage of the cause of Alzheimer's disease. Have you noticed how many memory care facilities are going up all over the place the past 5 to 10 years? It's crazy. And a lot of that stuff could be turned around with diet. A lot of it can. Dr. Dale Bredesen, amongst a few others, are leading the charge on this, but they're functional medicine doctors and medical doctors, but they're not mainstream. They don't receive their teachings. They do what they have to from the pharmaceuticals companies, which they're writing most of the reboard certification manuals and things like that. So they're really only interested in selling pharmacy items, not things from Whole Foods that won't make any money. So I'll be talking about a lot of these things over time. But anyway, like I say on here, what you thought you knew, what you were taught, it was wrong. It was just plain and simple wrong. And that's why we are such a disease-ridden society. And so hospitals keep going up, keep growing, adding on to them. I mean, just look around. It's pretty easy to see. Dialysis, kidney failure is way on the rise for a number of reasons. Increased uric acid. Dr. David Perlmutter has a book, a really good book called Drop Acid. And what he means by that is drop uric acid. And all-cause morbidity goes way down with low uric acid. And so my brother's doing that diet. It's called the LOVE, lower uric values, the LOVE diet. My brother's doing that because he's stage 5 kidney failure. He only has one kidney, and he's really changed his diet drastically. And we're hoping and praying that he does not have to go on dialysis. But he actually did have the implant put in his arm to receive a home dialysis when the time comes. It takes a couple of months for that to work. So anyway, so what are some of the foods that create the most disease? Junk foods. And junk foods go into a whole lot more categories than you would think. You know, it's funny, I've listened to my grandkids coming home from school. They don't live near me now, but I would say, oh, I want a snack. Well, this idea of a snack is these cheddar crackers that come from a box or something that's just totally not nutritious. That is junk food. Anything that's been processed, I'm going to read this to you. Any food that is found in packages that has been processed, I mean, there's an exception to everything I say, but it's going to be junk food, okay? Fast food restaurants, okay? They are junk food. They do not provide nutrition. Now, there may be some slivers of nutrition in there, but on the other side, you got so many detrimental aspects that you got more detrimental than you have good. And I think that's where that comes from. So, because you look at what foods are fried in, canola oil, horrible offender. Seed oils, horrible offenders. Seed oils are all over the place. You see this vegetable oil on the shelf in the grocery store. It's not vegetable. It's just not, okay? So there's anyway, so the further description of the ultra-processed food are foods that have been altered using chemical or mechanical or heat or other methods to change it into something else. And when it changes it into something else, your body doesn't recognize it. And the body says that is an enemy, so it starts kicking out inflammation to try to attack it like a machine gun. And then we have high inflammation being the cause of most all disease. If you haven't heard that before. It's not food because it doesn't sustain life. It doesn't provide energy. You want to be able to get energy from your food. It makes you tired. It doesn't have nutrients except for a few synthetic nutrients. Again, God made our bodies not to recognize synthetic nutrients, really. Except for a few synthetic nutrients that are sprayed on it, and it doesn't promote growth. And what is meant by growth here is, children growing up. It doesn't promote healthy growth of cells and bodies to grow like they're supposed to in their youth. And so promoting growth means high quality amino acids and high quality fats. We need these things to promote growth and good cell health. So that would have vitamins, minerals, trace minerals, amino acids, fatty acids, and fiber. So essential acids, essential fats, and essential proteins, we can actually live without carbohydrates. However, there are essential nutrients in fruits and vegetables, like I was saying before, those flavonoids and things, vitamin C, folate, potassium, magnesium, and phytonutrients. There are those things in that you should have in your body. We can't get enough these days from what's grown because the soil's been depleted so badly. And a lot of stuff's destroyed in processes to try to keep it looking fresh till it gets to the grocery store, because it's coming from, look at the packages. They're coming from Mexico, Argentina, a lot of different places far away. So I try to buy close to home as possible, close to local as possible. And eating local means you're not going to get some things at certain times of year that aren't seasonal for you locally. And we just kind of get over that. We're so used to being able to have what we want when we want it. But eating locally grown food is going to limit what we're eating, but it's going to be very fresh because it was grown in 50 miles away in Georgia, 100 miles away in Georgia, in middle Florida, whatever. And so anyway, what are some good foods? That's this page. So good fats. Our body and our brain, it really needs it. It needs it. Olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, ghee, butter. Never mind salmon oil, wild-caught salmon oil. Fattier proteins. So if you got meat with a little fat on it, keep insulin resistance down. And that's what's related to type 2 diabetes. So that's a good thing. Grass-fed beef is the highest source of glutamine, which heals the gut and inflammatory conditions. So I've got inflammatory condition going on in my gut right now. And so I'm eating grass-fed beef and cabbage, by the way. Cabbage is another super good healer for the gut lining. Organ meats, beef liver, chicken liver. Again, you need to get it organic, that you don't want them corn-fed or soy-fed. Chickens, soy and corn-free chicken. Wild-caught fatty fish. Salmon, shellfish, clams, oysters, shrimp. They have trace minerals. Also, eggs. That's one of the most perfect foods is eggs, including the yolk, by the way. We really need the yolk. Fermented vegetables, sauerkraut or kimchi. I can't do the kimchi right now because of my gut. I can't do spicy, which I love spicy. But there is the sauerkraut that's fermented, and that gives you great probiotics. I heard like 1 tablespoon a day would give you enough that you wouldn't have to buy probiotic pills. I'm taking a lot of probiotic natural sources right now to help heal that as well. So sauerkraut, kimchi, pre and probiotics are real good. And some of the prebiotics are already on your vegetables and your fruits. Cabbage. Glutamine heals stomach inflammation. So cabbage. Anyway, cabbage juice is supposed to be really good. I haven't drank it yet. I'm not really desirous to drink it because I had so many episodes with my stomach. I just can't bring myself to do it yet. But I had cabbage with bacon for lunch today. You could look at that video and the lamb chops I made. I did a video on that, did it wood-fired outside, kind of a work day thing. Leafy greens, broccoli, sprouts, broccoli sprouts have the most vitamins in them. I've got some seeds to grow some. I've got my soil all set up for it. I understand they'll grow in about 3 days. And you can just chop them off and throw them in your salad, put them on a sandwich, but, you know, depends on what kind of bread, if you're eating bread. Broccoli sprouts, non-starchy vegetables, and some starchy vegetables are okay, like the potatoes, the white potatoes, and the sweet potatoes. Herbs, garlic, onion, sage, thyme, basil, cinnamon, the list goes on. Organic is best, but sometimes it's out of reach of our budget, so start growing your own. I have a video on that where I've got my self-container, because I'm traveling a lot. I have my self-watering containers. So there's a lot that you can do. Even if you live in an apartment, you can start growing something. Just grow something, like if you have a little veranda or something like that, where you get some sun. And if you don't get some sun, put some artificial light on them, and just start growing something that gives you the most nutrition. And that's a place to start. And then there's, if you go to the Environmental Working Group, EWG.org, they'll give you the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. And that'll be, the Dirty Dozen is like the fruits and vegetables that you never want to buy if they're not organic. Blueberries is on that list. It has to do with, you can't really wash off the pesticides from it, and the pesticides are just so bad for you. So go download that list. It's free to everybody. It'll also, you can look for your water quality on that website. They've got a lot of resources on there. Anything that you ingest, anything that you put on your skin. We've got big problems with lotions. Sunscreen's causing more cancer. Not skin cancer, but it's causing more cancer in the body because of the chemicals that are in it, okay? So there's other ways to protect yourself from the sun. I'm sure I'll do a video on that at some point. But you really need to be able to, whatever lotion you put on your skin or your body, you need to be able to eat that. You need to be able to ingest that. I have some that I sell that you can ingest it. In fact, I did one day. I put it on my toothbrush by mistake, thinking it was my toothpaste. And I kind of did. But anyway, more later. I just wanted to give you a little overview of my first sharing of information. I'm not going to say teaching people because I don't have a degree in anything. I'm an environmental consultant. I have my own business for 31 and a half years. I do indoor air quality, mold, and moisture intrusion inspections, full building structural mechanical inspections for pre-purchase usually, insurance inspections, and radon testing. But I have a degree in gerontology, which now I'm an old person, so I guess I could talk to old people with that degree. And I have a degree in criminal justice, police science, but never decided to use it. So I've got some graduate studies in environmental science, which started to alert me to some of these things, which made me start to dive deep and study. There's a lot you can learn out there. There's a lot of books you can get. I've got a few posted on my CindyEriks.com. A few books, the books I started out with on this journey. There's a lot of good resources. The book Toxic by Dr. Neil Nathan, if you're suffering from some type of autoimmune disease or mold or Lyme disease or many others, actually. It's eye-opening. It's a small book, but it's really helpful. And there's a lot of good resources out there to study and learn, and just start taking responsibility for your own health, because our health care group really is not going to do that. They're really not, unless you have a good functional medicine doctor. So I hope that this was helpful to you. Leave me a comment or your email address if you'd like me to send you a copy of this, and I'd be glad to do that. You can look me up on, just type in my name and you'll get my indoorairqualitymatters.com, my website. You can send me a message through the website if you feel safer about doing that instead of leaving your email address or phone number or anything like that. I'll be glad to talk to you. I'll be glad to talk to you about that. I'm glad to talk to you about the Lord. I love Jesus. More than anything, I love Jesus. And so if you go to my YouTube channel, if you're watching this from the YouTube channel right now, CindyEriks.com, you'll see the Lord has called me to share some stuff, and there's a lot of it on there. So God bless you, and stay well and be well and become more vibrant as you age. That's my plan for me. And I pray that for you too. Take care.